Here's the breakdown of how to start a company. It's like actually not that hard. You don't need to incorporate your company to start a company. Just start creating value. It's much more interesting though, if you're not selling your service, your time, if you're selling your product. Now you can have a physical product like Board Brake, which is a 3D printed brake for skateboards that I built when I was in college. But that's hard because it requires tooling and machining and a shop. That's expensive. And then you need to ship it to people. Much nicer if you can sell something digital, software, because you can infinitely multiply it. The other thing is network effects start to kick in when you build software, and it ends up being a platform. So look at the biggest companies in the world today. Google, YouTube, Amazon, TikTok. It's all platforms that people upload material to. And so with Speechify, the goal is to make it into a platform, which today it is. It's using other people's content on the internet, but it allows you to access it in a different way, in a better way. Technology companies, as a result of this, end up with much bigger multiples of yearly revenue to valuation. And if you look at the list of the 100, the 1,000 wealthiest people in the world, a crazy amount of them are pretty young. And all the young people are in technology. So let's assume you want to make an app or a website. We're a machine learning company. You have two approaches. Number one is go learn how to make the technology. Study computer science. You can study at MIT or Stanford, or you can just teach yourself and just start building stuff. And it doesn't matter what pedigree you have or where you went to school. Like the internet democratizes access to knowledge. It's just a matter of your desire to actually go and build things. Even if you're like me and you misspell everything, like you can still do it. And so when I wanted to learn how to do this, I didn't change my major to computer science. I just downloaded a course on Udemy called the Complete iOS Developer Course by Rob Percival. And it was 23 hours of video and you build 19 projects. You start with building like a calculator and a clock, and you finish by building clones, basic clones of Instagram, of Tinder, of Google Maps, of Snapchat. And after I built all these apps just in my free time, I could build anything I wanted. All I did was watch a screencast of what buttons he clicked on his computer and what he wrote, and then I do the same thing on my computer. It just requires you investing the time and being self-disciplined about doing it. You should not be a tech founder without at least learning how to build a website or an app. If you're like me and you easily get distracted, set up a good system. Make sure that your friends keep you accountable. Do it with a friend. Convince your mom to do it at the same time as you, or your little brother or your best friend. Make a bet with someone for $500 to see who's gonna finish it first. But find a way to keep yourself accountable and just do it. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, do it with other people. Find other people who are motivated, who maybe even get more energy from you in coding or designing, and get them to work on projects with you. Everything starts with your will. And you know what's cool? It doesn't matter where you are in the world, where you were born, who your parents are, how much money you have. Your will is something that is 100% up to you. And if you were to identify one thing about me that is different than most other people, is my willpower is all encompassing. There's a fire inside my chest that is dying to go out and go do stuff. Like if it would open, it would bounce off the walls. And it does not matter what it is, I'm not stopping. I don't have a higher IQ than other people. There's EQ, which is emotional intelligence, and there's AQ, which is adversity quotient, which is when things get tough, how good are you at persevering? And that I'm off the charts on. And that's how I learned how to code, it's how I learned how to design, it's how I learned how to hire people. And every time we have some sort of challenge in the company, it's just me being really good and continuously running through walls. And I think the cool thing about Speechify is so many people have touched the product. Like so many people have been part of the engineering organization, part of the design organization, part of the content organization, part of the marketing and growth team. And, you know, people come in and out, take a year off school to come join us, they'll go back to school, they'll have kids, they'll do whatever. But the one thing that is never stopping is I'm continuing. Like I am the scaffolding from a will perspective, and nothing will stop me from doing what I set my mind to do. And so if you're watching and you're like, I want to start a company, the number one thing that you should do is you should hone that sharp sense of will and that determination. Do things that other people are not willing to do because your will is so unstoppable. So how do you develop AQ? It's actually very easy. It's like going to the gym. You just do it. There was a day when my laptop was stolen and I spent 7 hours trying to get this laptop back. And that was a practice point. The second time my phone got stolen, it was so much easier to get the phone back. My sister's phone got stolen, very easy to get the phone back. My friend's laptop, same thing. I've done it before. Doing it again becomes easier. And so it's like levels in a video game, but it's just real life. And so what you should do is every time you see a challenge that is hard, gravitate towards that challenge. Go do it just for the sake that it's hard. Obviously, I care about solving dyslexia and I care about building good technology and I really enjoy it. I found my zone of genius and I found the thing that I think is worthwhile for me to do. Now, how did I find it? I read 100 books a year and I tried a bunch of different things. And then I figured that this is the thing that I enjoy doing. So I just go and do that. And you should do the same thing. Find the thing that gives you energy and go do the thing that gives you energy, and don't do the things that don't give you energy. And if you end up starting a company, one of the big privileges you're allowed as a founder is to hire other people to do the things that don't give you energy. The other thing you can do is go read a ton of biographies. Go and be inspired by other people in history that have not given up and be like, you know what? That's the person I want to be like. Last point I'll say, some people are born to like a really wealthy family in the United States. They're really good looking, they're really attractive, they're really strong naturally, they're tall. Then I think to myself, wow, like that's such a hard place to start your life. Because where are you going to go from here? What's your opportunity to go up from here? Your happiness is often a equation where you go, your expectations minus what you got equals your happiness. And if you start in a slum in India and then you go and become the CEO of Google or Microsoft, you're going to be a pretty happy person. But if you start in the first example that I said, like, where are you going to go up from here? Like, you literally have to go colonize Mars to do something that's significant in life. And so from wherever you are, dream big dreams and then go and figure out ways of executing against them by having really high IQ, by doing hard things, by recruiting other people to your vision, by having an iron will and not stopping.